Okay. Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a book using a simple stitch called the kettle stitch. It's super simple and you should be able to master the technique within just a few minutes. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the supplies that you're going to need. First and foremost, you're going to need to pick your paper. Next, you'll need an awl, a bone folder, needles, a pencil, string, and beeswax. Okay? So the first step that you're going to do when making your book is folding your paper. You'll want to do them one sheet at a time just to ensure that the pages are folded equally. When your pages are folded, the next step is going to be to use your bone folder across the folded edges. You'll start from the middle and work your way to the ends, and this will just ensure that the folds are nice and sharp. You'll do that with each sheet. Okay, and when you're done with the bone folder, the next thing you do is you're going to stack your pages together. Alright. So you'll go to the very middle page, nice and even, and you're going to take your pencil and you're going to mark starting in the very middle, and then you're going to work your way to the edges. We're going to mark 3 holes. You'll want to stay about an inch or so in from each of the ends of the book. Just make sure everything's nice and tight and in line. The next step, you're going to use your awl to punch a hole where you marked. You're going to go at a downward angle through all 3 of the pages at the same time. If you do them individually, you'll risk not having your holes line up and you won't be able to sew. So the best thing to do is to punch through all the pages at the same time. And there we go. All 3 holes, 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Alright, so the next step, you're going to take string and you're going to cut it. You want to detach it from the spool. And a rule of thumb is always to take 3 lengths of the spine. So we're going to go across 3 times to measure. That's 1, 2, 3, and always a little bit extra. Your next step is to coat the string with beeswax. We do this to ensure that the string goes through the hole easily. It also keeps the string from fraying, and it also ensures that the knots will stay tied. Okay? After your string is thoroughly coated, you'll want to take one of your needles. Bookbinding needles have a flat, blunt tip with wide eyes because a lot of the bookbinding string is actually pretty thick. And for the sake of time, we're going to use one that's already, a needle that's already threaded. Alright. So you're going to leave about 2 inches of string from the top. On the very bottom, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches in, you're going to create a small knot. There we go. Okay. The next step, we're going to take our pages, starting through the middle hole from the inside, we're going to poke all the way through. Okay. We'll pull until you feel the knot stop you. Then you're going to go up to the top hole of your book, and you're going to go in. You'll go through all 3 pages. And you're going to pull your string all the way through. You're going to go back through your middle hole. You'll pull your string nice and tight. And when you're tightening your string, don't pull straight upwards because you're risking tearing your paper. Instead, pull parallel to the pages. Once your string is nice and tight, you're going to take the bottom hole, you're going to go through that bottom hole. You'll pull your needle all the way through. Again, pull parallel to the paper to make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, one last time, we're going to go right through that center hole again. It's going to be a tight squeeze at this point with as much thread as in it. We're going to pull through. This next step can be a little tricky. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your needle and loop it through the top stitch. Again, you'll pull parallel down to the bottom. And then we're going to go right through that middle hole one last time. So we'll pull through. Then we're going to take the string that we have at the end and the string that our needle is still tied to, and we're going to pull them away from each other to tighten them through. Okay. I need something to cut. One moment. We'll also need something to use to cut the string. I have a box cutter and a blade. You'll want to cut the string about 2 inches from the center of the book. All right. And then the very last step, you're going to want to take a knot. Once, twice for good measure. And then, when your knot is nice and tight, you can trim it up one more time. And you have just created your first book. Awesome.
Red button.
Red button.